Good evening, everyone. In response to discussion number 4 this week, I decided to look at the research titled The Effectiveness of Title I Synthesis of National Level Evidence from 1966 to 2013. And in the introduction section, the question that I posed from Appendix 3 was, do the researchers demonstrate any favorable or unfavorable bias in describing the subject of study? I do not see any bias due to the fact that the researchers are synthesizing research from previous studies. The paper states that this paper seeks to synthesize the national level evidence of effectiveness of the overall Title I compensatory program in closing the achievement gap between poor and non-poor students nationwide. The paper will also discuss the costs of that contribution. So I do not see any bias in regards to the subject of study. In the materials and methods section, the question I asked was, in each measure, is the study sufficiently valid for its intended use? And I believe that the researcher used specifics when describing the search engines and the criteria for choosing which previous research to synthesize. The 4 criteria were defined as A, evaluations of Title I NCLB as a whole as opposed to evaluations of specific components. B, evaluations of Title I NCLB that are nationally representative as opposed to assessments of state or local effects of Title I. C, evaluations that assess the effect of Title I NCLB on students' academic achievement, as opposed, for example, effects of Title I NCLB on school spending. And D, evaluations that look at students from disadvantaged poverty backgrounds as compared to their non-disadvantaged poverty counterparts. So in the next section, in the results section, the question I posed was, were appropriate statistical techniques used and were they used correctly? The researcher describes the outcome measure for each study that was chosen. Meta-analysis was used in the Borman and D'Agostino synthesis of 17 Title I evaluations. The Prospect study relied on nationally representative sample of 40,000 students. The National Assessment and Follow-up study used a trend analysis of NAEP scores, and the D and Jacob study used a comparative interrupted time series approach. So all of those are statistically valid ways of doing research. And in the discussion and conclusion section, the question I asked was, do the results of the data analysis support what the researchers conclude are findings of the study? After the researchers synthesized the data from the different studies, it was stated that the review of multiple national level evaluations of Title I NCLB covering the period from 1966 to 2013 offers very little evidence that the Title I compensatory education program has significantly improved the academic achievement of disadvantaged students nationwide. The results of each study that were chosen for the synthesis backed up this fact. There was very little evidence that Title I is improving our disadvantaged students in academic achievement. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much.